Today on Polar Ice Creamery, we are gonna make white chocolate blondie ice cream. This is gonna be amazing, so let's see what we need to do. Yeah, so this flavor is inspired by Gelato Messina and Scientifically Sweet website. I follow her on Instagram, and she flashed up a recipe for what she calls white chocolate brownies, but they're what I know as blondies. The difference between blondie and brownie is brownie uses cocoa powder and chocolate with white sugar, and blondies use white chocolate with brown sugar and vanilla. Everything else pretty much is the same. So we're gonna make the blondies. Whilst they're baking and getting ready, we'll then do the ice cream, and then we'll come back and combine everything with a nice secret swirl for the end. So first thing we need to do, get the oven on. I'm following Scientifically Sweet recipe here in front of me, so you're gonna see me keep looking backwards and forwards. Not my recipe, don't know it. So, preheat the oven to 350. We've also got an 8x8 pan. Ooh, an 8x8 pan, we're gonna line that. Right, with our pan lined with baking parchment, we can measure things out. We need 2 bowls. And we are going to, in this small bowl, we're gonna weigh out our white chocolate and our butter. So what do we need? We need 85 grams of white chocolate. There we go, 85 grams of white chocolate and 100 grams of butter. You can melt this over a bain-marie, you can melt it however you like. I'm gonna melt it in the microwave. Just be careful in the microwave so you don't burn anything. Right, so it took about a minute, something like that. Just, I did a 30-second blast and then a couple of shorter blasts. Once the butter's melted, start stirring in that white chocolate. You don't want a white chocolate to burn. It burns really easily. And then it's ruined. But now our white chocolate is just finally doing that last stage of melting in the hot butter, so it's perfect. Super smooth white chocolate and butter mix. Now in here, we're gonna add in everything apart from the flour. So let's start with our sugar, which is 135 grams, 55 grams of light brown sugar. I don't have that, I have Demerara sugar. So, there you go. Brown sugar, eggs and salt. All right, eggs. 2 room temperature eggs. And salt, we're using pink salt. How much salt? Half a teaspoon. There we go, half a teaspoon of salt. And we need to mix this. I don't have an electric hand mixer, so I'm gonna do it by hand. It says mix until it's pale and thick. So, pale and thick. Add in the vanilla. How much vanilla? 1.5 teaspoons, 7 milliliters. Random. That is 3 tiny teaspoons for me, because I like vanilla bean paste flavor. Not sure that would be enough otherwise, so in that flavor goes. You can put in as much vanilla flavor as you like, because it doesn't really have a negative impact on the recipe because it's vanilla bean paste rather than alcohol in vanilla extract. Next we need to mix in our melted butter and white chocolate. I'm doing this in real time, so let's mix this in. I'm using mostly Valrhona white chocolate. There's also some white chocolate chips from Walmart. Nice. Finally, we need to add in the flour. So it says fold it in. 160 grams worth of all-purpose flour. We're not whisking this flour in, we are just folding it in until it's incorporated. Oh, well, that's it. All we need to do now is to fold in some more white chocolate chips. Safeway zone, and get it in here. That tastes delicious. Right, this needs to go in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. So let's do that. Quick tidy up. Onto the ice cream whilst they're baking. Quick tidy up took me 3 minutes. So, white chocolate ice cream. I'm gonna start off with 680. This is a 1.5 litre batch. So that's 3 Ninja Creamy batches, 2 Ninja Creamy Deluxe batches, 1 litre batch plus a Ninja Creamy, 1 1500 gram batch, however you want to break it down. 680 grams of milk. And into that, I'm adding 440 grams of 33% whipping cream. Nice. We're going to use a stabilizer. Some people say, why do you use stabilizer in some and not in others? Some recipes do better with a stabilizer than others. Mint does better with a stabilizer. White chocolate does better with a stabilizer. 100 grams of sugar. Ooh, better put it on the scale, eh? That would help. 100 grams of sugar. Today we're going to use dextrose, and that is 100 grams of dextrose. 100 grams of dextrose. And into that, we're going to add in our milk powder, which is 55 grams. And our stabilizer. What are we going to use this time? I'm going to use my own blend. This is an old special ingredients tub that I have repurposed. I'm going to use 1.8 grams of stabilizer. White chocolate has this habit of being super cold when you make it into ice cream. So always recommend a little bit more stabilizer. If you don't use stabilizer, you'll never know. That is up to you. So we're just going to mix all that together. 110 grams of white chocolate. Random little things in there. 110 grams. Just going to break these in half. Nice. That is everything. Now, we're going to add our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients. And let's get that on the hob and warm it up to 85C, 185F. Nice simple stir, bring it up to temperature. And then take it off the heat, nothing crazy. Temperature 85C, 185F, just some out of interest. Some people ask me about evaporation and I don't talk about it that often, but when you cook a base, by adding the skim milk powder and by evaporating some of the water off, you actually are emanating the pasteurizing process done in a commercial environment. That's why it's done. That's why we do it. It reduces the water content, gives you a more luxurious base. Add that with the stabilizer, you've got this amazing kind of combination. What we got? We've got 2 minutes left on our blondies, white chocolate brownies, whatever. So let's just see. We started off with 1.5 kilos, 1500 grams. There we go, we got 1.5% evaporation rate on there. So not too bad. I'd say if you really want to balance properly using an ice cream calculator, and this won't work on Dream Scoops or the more simplified calculators. If you use Patrick's ice cream calculator, you can balance against evaporation rate. So you could evaporate more off, up to 5%, balance your recipe to that point. If you put 0 evaporation, which can't happen if you heat your base, that's what the steam is, it's water, so you are evaporating water. If you try and balance your recipe at 0% evaporation, then you evaporate water off of it, your numbers will be wrong. All right? So, when you're deep in the science of ice cream, there's a lot of things to consider. That's one of them. If you don't use an ice cream calculator and you follow my recipes, then just don't worry about it. And we're gonna put a good, whatever this spoonful size is, what is that? Half a tablespoon. We're gonna do 3/4 of a tablespoon of vanilla bean paste, not vanilla extract because of the alcohol, vanilla bean paste. Oh yeah, White chocolate is always pretty much flavored with vanilla or vanillin, which is the chemical compound flavor for vanilla. But there we go. Let's pop this in the fridge. It's super early in the morning. It's 9:30, so we can get this chilled down and churned and loaded up before the end of the day. Does your oven make that stupid ass noise? Right, let's get these out the oven. Give you a shot of what these look like. Smooth top. We're going to steam the camera up in a minute. Just light toasting around the outside. Yes, looking good. Now, all we need to do is cool these. If I lift that out, yeah, that's going to go everywhere. So let's do our best at getting these out of the pan like that. We're going to cut them up and put them in ice cream anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But now you can see how delicious these look. I'm going to tidy up the kitchen, let everything cool down, ice cream base as well, and then we'll come and churn and load it all up. I rapidly chilled my ice cream base down. It's just finishing off in the fridge now. We're going to cut up our blondie, keep some aside, and we are going to store some in the freezer for another time. We're going to use the Viva chamber vacuum machine. Let's cut our blondie up. So we're going to put some in a container. Yes, I've eaten the corner. Right, so our blondie is here. Can't stop eating this. I'm going to put that aside for storing, for vacuum sealing, put it in the freezer. So let's get our ice cream base in the machine and get that churning. White chocolate ice cream is notorious for the cocoa butter solidifying on top. If that happens to you, all you got to do is reincorporate it. You can do this with a whisk, you can do this with an immersion blender, whatever you have to hand. Mine hasn't done it. And the final thing is we're going to take our Werther's soft caramels. How many are we going to take? More than that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 20. Going to unwrap all of these and put them in this little jug. We're going to turn this into a caramel sauce, so we're going to add some cream into this. Freeze solid. Whilst that's doing, let's put this in the microwave and melt it all down. Alright, 30 seconds and then another 20-25 seconds got us close. Now we're going to try and mix this together. There we go. It goes together. Relatively easy. It's obviously boiling hot. We can just pop this in the refrigerator for the remaining time, making sure not to absolutely decimate the glass shelf in the refrigerator. So, see you in about 10 minutes. Right, we're coming up to the last few minutes of churning. I want to get a couple of these pieces, the center pieces, so the soft pieces without a harder edge, into the ice cream base. I want those to break up and distribute around the ice cream. Let's gently drizzle just a little bit of this into here, like that. I'm going to put some more of this in there. This caramel is perfect. Let's get some dished up. Okay, first things first, this caramel is perfect. So good. Been in the fridge for hours and hours and hours all day. Not gone hard, just, oh, literally could eat that whole thing. And it's Friday, so I might. Onto the ice cream, beautiful scooping texture, perfect amount of overrun, smells delicious. I can see big old pieces of blondie in there. Oh. I'm shaking my head at how freaking good this is. Some days I just surprise even myself in how good some of these ice creams actually are. The ice cream is a perfect combination of white chocolate flavour and vanilla. Vanilla is the predominant flavour you're tasting in white chocolate anyway. The blondies, or white brownies as Scientifically Sweet calls them, they're incredible things. The texture is perfect, frozen in the ice cream. The outside piece, if you're an outside brownie person, the outside edge is still crispy and lovely. The inside is still super chewy and decadent. The flavour of those blondies is incredible. Good quality chocolate, make sure you use that. Overall, this combination is perfect with the Werther's caramel top. It's so easy just to add cream to those in the microwave. Leave it in a fridge for hours on end until you're ready to use it. Like I said, it's Friday, and I've got a huge batch of this that I can now consume. Blown away by how good this one is. You gotta try this. Yes, there's a few ingredients to making this, but my word is it good. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.